Hello, hello. Mhm. Hello, soul family. This is a call. I'm here sending you all the smoke signals. So if you listen to this call, I am glad that you will be coming to join us every Friday at 8. Today is our first day of our book club. And hi, I cannot see your name because I am on StreamYard. So I don't get to see your name if you are in Facebook, but I see you saying hi. So hi, welcome, and thank you for your presence here tonight. This is our first day of school, let's say. So I'm so glad that you are joining us from the beginning. I just show up, didn't know who or if someone else is going to come, but I'm sure that maybe later or after I close this broadcast, more people will be able to see it. So it's Dog, how are you doing? I'm so glad that you're here listening. Thank you for your presence here. So, if you don't know what this is about, I want to talk a little bit about what I'm doing here tonight. I am going to tell you just a little story. Last year, I wrote my first book. So, if you don't know it, I'm just telling you that I published my first book. The name of the book is Alchemy for the Soul. And I wrote this book in Spanish first. And what happened was that once I wrote the book, many people who was reading it and following the exercises, because there are some exercises here to heal your ancestors, your childhood, your parents, your emotions, right? So people that I don't even know were testing me, telling me how impactful was for them to see this truth because they never got to see life from this systemic view. For the ones that don't know, this book of Alchemy for the Soul is based on family and systemic constellations. And if you haven't heard about what family constellations, I am going to tell you a little bit before we begin so you can have an idea of what we will be doing throughout this journey, because this is just the first step of this journey. I will be here every Friday at 8. That's my commitment, my soul commitment with you. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the book and how it can help you. If you don't know what family constellations are, I am a facilitator on family constellations. And this is let's say, a therapy, or let's say an opportunity to find or to identify a conflict that you cannot recognize, you're not aware of, but is connected to your family system. And it could be affecting your relationships, your health, your abundance, the success in your life, and many other things that you might not know why they don't work. So, pretty much, all the things that we cannot manifest are attached or connected to our past. Not only to our childhood or what we got to experience with our parents, but it goes beyond even your parents. It's like something that you cannot even imagine. So when I found this truth, I was like, oh my God, I thought I had done most of the healing work in my life. But then I realized that I haven't really even started. So let me tell you a little bit of my background. I I am, let me see, where should I begin? I did a sort of a healing work. I worked with womb for women, meditation, nutrition, Tai Chi, Qigong. I did all sort of meditation, consciousness work. I became a massage therapist, then I became a life coach. So when I was healing myself, I thought I had done it or done my part. But after all of that, because I'm sure you all have gone through your turning point, that turning point that takes you all the way to the bottom, and that it takes you some time to recover. And you might recover, but you still have these feelings that you don't know where they come from or how to heal them. Like they are so deep, ingrained in you, and you don't know how to change that. You might be aware, or you might say, oh, this might be because of this. But how to change those feelings? It is different to understand what's happening than what you are feeling. Because you can understand, I'm feeling sadness and I want to be positive in life and I want to create a different reality. But how to change that feeling if it's so deep ingrained in you at a cellular level, at an emotional level, mental level, even genetic level? We are all carrying these memories in our epigenetics, and they come from all the memories that our ancestors lived that didn't get to resolve. And those memories, because it happened in the past and they weren't resolved, doesn't mean that they just went to die when people or our ancestors die. No, they can awaken in us when we get triggered by something that maybe our ancestors got triggered. And we can feel the same emotions or have the same perspectives of fears of surviving. All of this that is connected to our family system and our ancestors that we haven't been able to see, identify, recognize, heal, and transcend are still affecting our present and what we want to manifest. So when I found this work and how it works, because it works with those feelings and emotions specifically, I felt like I found a treasure. And once I started working myself with that, I thought, wow, I feel like many people need this. So I became a facilitator on family constellations. And now I'm even teaching coaches who want to become family constellations because I found this work so profound, deep, and also powerful to create these changes deep inside you. So that's pretty much what family constellations are. And what is alchemy for the soul? Alchemy for the soul is a journey to identify those memories that are affecting you and your family system and that don't allow you to grow or to expand, to develop something, to recreate your reality. And so these steps, there are 7 steps here that are going to make you understand or comprehend how you are attached or connected unconsciously to those memories of your ancestors. And with the exercise that appear here in the book, you will be able to unleash that, to resolve them, to heal them. So you will be, of course, ready to transcend them. So let's talk a little bit about what we will be doing every Friday at 8 p.m. I am going page by page, and we are going to be going through each of the paragraphs because each of this information is information that your soul is ready for you to see so you can change something within and recreate a different reality in your life. And this is pretty much what we will be doing throughout this process. How that sounds? Sounds like something that you might be interested on doing, following? Because I'm sure if you are here or if you are listening to this message or if you are here present tonight, is because you had a call somehow. There is no coincidence. There is always synchronicity. Maybe you have been waiting for a different sort of message to take the next step into that journey of healing. And maybe that will be that of your soul. See, let's say the word again, soul. We have the tendency as healers or as therapists or coaches to work a lot with the mind because people might think that everything is in the mind, that I should heal my mind. But for me to heal my mind, I should go first to the root of why my mind has these perspectives that are not aligned to consciousness. And this come from the past, from your family system again. Hmm? So in order for you to recreate how you think, you should go to the root of the conflict. And the root of the conflict is there in the soul. See, let's talk a little about the soul. Let's talk a little bit about the topic of today's, and I'm going to give you a little intro on why the soul. And our topic today is returning to our origin. And let's talk a little bit about that because that takes us to talk about our soul. Make sense? Okay. So let's see. Let's talk about the origin because we cannot just say that the origin started with the human because it goes even beyond the human or beyond even our planet. Let's say that we can talk about the Big Bang, when everything really started, even though that's not the beginning, because the beginning was already created in that this blackness that is all, right, that contains everything. Well, let's say that the creator or this sort of source that, let's call it the source or the creator, wanted to experience itself, right? Because it is so perfect in there that in order to be able to see myself, I need to see me, right? So let's say that this source decided to separate. And then, boom, the light came from that darkness. And when I'm talking about darkness, I'm not talking about something negative. I'm talking that that's what it is, right? So let's say that this darkness and separates and sees the light. So that's the beginning of opposites. And then when this darkness could see the light, then it could say, oh, I see myself. I am you and you are me. And that was the beginning of fragmentation. See how this source wanted to experiment itself as the life and to somehow materialize itself, manifest as something living in particles, let's say. So this source fragmented in different pieces, right? From here all the way down, 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 until we got to have, it's like we humans, this sort of density. But we still are that experience of the spirit. So the idea of this spirit is that we come out of that source that is here and do a whole loop. We live and go through all that fragmentation, different dimensions. We are now on third dimension. And then we return to the same source. And throughout that process, we must go through a lot of experiences. And especially when we get here to this dimension or this plane, physical plane called Earth, we and our ancestors went through a lot of difficult experiences. All what we are living today that is in conflict, it all didn't start with your parents. It started with our ancestors from the beginning of humanity. Just think of all the stories or history that we went through. If we think about slavery and colonization, Holocaust, wars, and so on, these human souls that are in that process, in that journey of coming back to consciousness, went through all of it. So throughout that process, right, we got lost from the track, lost from, we got distracted, and then fear appeared in our perspectives, and all of this fear and suffering and pain, right, distracted us from our experience to go back to that consciousness. Hmm? Today, today, we are already in a great moment because we are in that moment of transcending 3D to 5D. So that means that we are living from our limiting perspectives of the mind, fear, and pain and suffering towards our new consciousness. And for you to be able to get to that new stage or that new level of consciousness, you must work on transcending what is you haven't been able to maybe identify or see that still affects your emotions and your life, and that is all connected to that past. Because we are affected by what happened in the past. So when I found family constellations, family and systemic constellations, I found this great possibility to transcend those memories. See, all these memories are held in a place, let's call it a place, it's not really a place because it doesn't really exist in the physical, but we call it the morphogenetic field. And this field holds all memories of the humanity. And since these memories weren't resolved, they are still pulsing in that morphogenetic field where we are all part of it. So what happened there that wasn't resolved still affects the whole system of life. And some of those memories of the past might be affecting your family system, and directly some of those might be affecting your own life today. So that's what we will be doing. We will be going to the past. Some people say, oh, the past is the past. We should just leave it there. But when you haven't healed your past, then it is as present as it just happened today. So let's say the memories of abuse that maybe you are accepting in your life didn't start because people is abusive. No, it began beyond even your parents. Maybe your mother accepted it. Maybe your grandma accepted it. Maybe it comes because your family or your ancestors were slaves in that time. See? So we are all trying to struggling internally, trying to find that middle point where we are not this or that. I'm not my emotions or my perspectives. I can go back to my consciousness. And that is really the intention of these meetings that we will be having every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. How that sounds? Interesting? Something that you can say, maybe I am ready for this journey. So I am Maya Dari del Sol, and I will be your guide throughout this journey that we will be taking, or I will be your facilitator. We will be going through this book. If you are interested on purchasing the book, you can go to Alchemy for the Soul that link, or you can go directly to Amazon and you can buy it in a paper version or in Kindle. And so you can read it and follow it. And I'll be glad if you come because your case might be my case or the case of some of us here. So the idea is that we can participate, that you can come and say, I maybe that's my case, or maybe I didn't get to see that I'm going through that and I didn't notice it until now that you're mentioning that. See? So this is going to be a participative meeting. I'm not going to be here just talking. I will give you an intro, then we will go into the information of the book, and then I will be answering any of your questions or concerns or some sort of self-observations, because this is all about seeing yourself and see where you are at in that process, Where are you in that process, in that journey? Hmm? And what is like limiting you to continue that journey towards that consciousness that we all want to reach? Because this isn't only about you. Your healing today is as powerful as the healing of all of us. Your healing will be the healing of the system of life. Is that big? And that's why that I committed to be here and to share this information with you, because I believe that at this point we know that we can do it all together, that it is time for us to take the responsibility of our part and see what we can do with we must heal within ourselves. Makes sense? So I want to say that another inspiration for me to be here tonight is that once people were purchasing the book, they were sending me all of these messages from all over the world, people that I don't even know, saying, wow, when I did this exercise with my mom or with my dad or with my brothers, I felt so much relief and peace and center and understanding. And so once you get to feel that, then you expand your consciousness. And I noticed that that was like, that was calling my attention. I was like, wow, I never thought it would be so impactful on others. So that's why I decided to translate it to English. And here it is. We published the book in December. It was born with by the nativity. Let's say I was gonna say the nativity by Christmas, and here it is. I think it's ready to also bring the magic in, and then this magic can, I'm willing to share it with you, so you can also transform your life and really get to manifest a different reality or a different destiny than that of your ancestors. How that sounds. Welcome, Sarah. I see you there. Thank you for being here present. All right, so let's begin by going to the intro. Sounds good? Okay. Yay. Let's begin then. The intro says this. And I was talking about the plan. Remember that it's all a plan. We, all the souls that are here incarnated today, in this life, at this present moment, pretty much all of us are in the same process of that journey, that loop. All the souls that are here are working on transcending their past. So we all, as one oneness, one family, one collective, we all can move into that new consciousness. And when I'm saying that all of us are doing that, you might be saying or thinking, but I see people that still do this and do that. And we will get to understand that we are all serving each other. They say that sometimes you see people that might seem like perpetrators because they are doing this or that. But these people is only showing us what we must heal together so we can transcend it and live a new reality from a different consciousness. That's pretty much what we're doing. And we are being part of a plan, a cosmic plan. And we were supposed to go through all of that, right? Through all of that suffering, pain, and transgenerational dysfunction for today's have these observations and say, but wait, I can change that. See? So it was all part of the plan. So we can live out of the judgment of why that happened like that, or why things still happen like they are happening now. No, we are here with intention to acknowledge that it was part of a plan, that we are in that plan doing our part, and that as much as you open and yourself to this new information and new vision of life, and so you can transcend this past and become consciousness itself, then your healing will be the healing of all. So we will be all ready to live in that consciousness. Hi, Christina. I'm seeing you. Christina, thank you for being here. So we are about to begin. I know, Christina, you purchased your book. So just in time, you got it just in time, I hope. And we are going to begin reading the book. As I read the book, I will be also giving you some other insights and we all can share. You can share. I will be happy if in comments you leave all of your insights or whatever comes to your heart or whatever comes to your mind, because it all will serve us here. So let's see. The introduction starts like this. Did you know that your dream is my dream and everyone's dream? Maybe our mind isn't aware of it, but our heart is. We are all connected from the heart by a joint mission and by the same collective dream. Do you know what that dream is? The dream of being able to live in harmony collectively with each other. The dream of experiencing ourselves free and happy. The dream of being able to live heaven on earth, our divinity in our humanity. Life is taking us back home to our origin. It is time for each member of the family to take responsibility for doing their part so that we can all come together as a unity. So as I was explaining before, we are all part of that plan. The dream, or let's say what happens, is that when we are in this soul stage, we all know that the human is in a process of evolution and that these humans that we are, we need help because we are stuck with this sort of limiting perspectives and emotions that we haven't been able to heal. So we as souls, we enlist, let's say, and we say, okay, I am going to help. So you see down there where we are here to earth and you say, okay, how can I help? Well, I'm going to have to go down there to earth to help. And in order for you to do that, you need to incarnate. And you must choose also a mission, because the dream is that we all can help heal the system of life. So you might say, okay, I'm going there and I'm going to help heal, let's say, abandonment, because the abandonment brings so much of the feelings or emotions of sadness, depression, this, that, right? So you choose a system that is going through the same sort of dysfunction or memories of the same kind of abandonment, let's say. See? So when you come here, you must go through that sort of suffering until at certain point you will find that that's what you came to heal. Because when we came here, or when we incarnate, we kind of forget the plan and the mission, right? But as much as you go through all of this suffering and pain, at certain point you would say, I don't think I want to go through the same again. So you start looking for help, right? Because that was my case. I don't think I want to go through this anymore. And then you look for help. And then you find that your part is to heal that. And then today, I'm offering this possibility of doing this sort of healing through family and systemic constellations. See? So the dream of all of us is to help evolve the consciousness of the human from 3D to 5D, let's say, to a new consciousness. And in order to do that, we must leave these perceptions of the past, these emotions of the past that weren't resolved. Does it make sense? Okay, I'm just gonna make sure you're following me. Are you following me? Okay, let's see. It says, in these times of change, healing may start with the individual, But in reality, the healing of one is the healing of all. Today, we don't make it alone. We need to do it together. Today, as souls, we set out to do it together as a team. See, so we all souls make agreements with our parents, with whoever is going to come with me, and all the experiences that we are going to have here with my partner, with my children, with whatever I will be doing. I already made some soul contracts. So if I haven't been able to find what my issues are, I'm sure you will be having repetitive patterns that appear in your life and you don't know why, but they are showing in front of you. So you will be able to see them and somehow confront them. And then from there, you can see where this comes from. I'm going to heal that. And that's why we go through these sort of experiences that we don't like in our lives, that we don't know how to change besides, right? That is why it is important to find out what is our purpose, what we are doing, and where we are going to feel more confident as we walk the process throughout life. See, it makes more sense when you understand that you are part of a plan. It is important to understand, like, why am I here? What is the sense of this existence? What is my soul doing here? What is my part? And when you understand your part, then you can deal better with it because you can say, oh, part of the missions that I brought was to help heal this issue in my family system. And that's why I went through it. And you can embrace that and integrate it instead of resisting it and rejecting it and excluding, whoever you feel it is the perpetrator. Because this work that we will be doing is based on creating systemic order. Because where there is order, love flows. Makes sense? Okay, let's continue. Okay, it says here, the purpose of this writing is to generate a new consciousness that helps the evolutionary process of the individual and the collective, of course. Our work today is to change as we are changing the programming learned and lived by our ancestors to recreate a different destiny for us on earth, one closer to heaven as we evolve into the consciousness of the Creator itself. So, our goal is to get to that state of consciousness. Because from that state of consciousness, we are not lost in the unconsciousness of the memories of the past. So, again, as I said it in the intro, our idea is to leave our mind and to become consciousness. And not to say that the mind is wrong. No, it's just that the mind is holding a lot of memories and conditioning and pain, right? These beliefs that we haven't been able to observe and see how they are serving us today. And not only how they are serving you, how are they serving life? See? So I'm giving you all of these insights for you to maybe stop and see yourself and see if you have maybe, or maybe you haven't done this part of the work. Because within the soul is where we are holding that possibility, or the possibility of recreating your life is there. And as you recreate your life to a better manifestation, we will all experience that from you. That's why when I say your dream is my dream, because I'm sure you want to live a reality of happiness and freedom and to manifest whatever it is that is in your heart. So when you say, I want to be happy, I feel like I want to be happy too, because we are all one unit pulsing together as one. So the dream of one of these pieces of this sort of oneness, right, is pulsing with all of it. So when you heal something, this whole oneness that we are heals as well. But when you also have a limitation, then you affect also that wholeness. Makes sense? That's why you are so important. And you can generate a different, reality for all. See? Okay, let's say what else it says here. For this, we need to understand that what we live today and what our ancestors lived that isn't aligned to love is part of our soul process. The process took humanity to go through experiences of pain. Throughout history, we wanted to experience the power of one over the other, and we forgot the collective dream. We forgot that we are all brothers and sisters of the same family. And this is how our ancestors lived stories of loss, abandonment, rejection, exclusion, injustice, humiliation, abuse, betrayal, and so on. All the systems that went through these experiences were marked, and transgenerationally, these memories that couldn't be resolved or reconciled in the past continue to drag the same unconsciousness of suffering towards the descendants. So, this is how big it is for you to take responsibility to see what happened to your ancestors. Have you ever looked back? Sometimes we don't even know what happened to our grandparents. But if they lived, let's say, in a period where there was poverty, then that might be a memory of survival and fear of dying because there is no food or work or how to get money. So that could be affecting today your finances, for example, your abundance. See, maybe you have fear of spending money because and maybe you have money, but you still have, mental poverty to think that we are gonna run out of money, and maybe it could be based on a memory of one of your ancestors who went through that sort of experience. See how important this is? When we deny our past, we are denying our possibilities to manifest a different reality for us today in this present. Because we are not disconnected from our family system. We belong to that system. And we are carrying all the information of our ancestors, our parents, and our ancestors. It's all within your genetic information. So, my invitation for you is to maybe stop and see, just think. I never thought that I would be carrying the information from my ancestors in that level. See, all those emotions of fear, they are not lost. They are there, kind of sleep. But maybe if you go through experience like your ancestors went through, and it was like a harsh or like a trauma, they might awaken in you, and you might end up feeling the same way they did, and you will be affected in the same way they were affected. So our job today, or our part today, is to take a look at what happened in the past. Because as much as I help transcending that, I will be helping myself and helping the system of life. Let's see. It says, but you know what? We still have the possibility of returning to the dream. We all dream of that possibility, even if it doesn't seem like it. I'm sure that you are also one of those dreamers who believe that it is possible to live that experience of conscious love here on earth. We, the dreamers, are the brave ones sent to anchor that change, to return to the love that remains dormant in our DNA. So I want to stop here because this is very important. When you recreate these memories and heal them, you are anchoring a new information in this dimension, let's say, because we are anchored to Mother Earth, and Mother Earth has also a soul. This will be new information for it. So that's how everything works here between our one whole structure. And it doesn't seem like it, but one of your transcendence will be that of the whole structure. See? And so we are anchoring new information. And when you get to create this deep change within you and feel this peace and this relief and connect to your consciousness, you will be vibrating in a different energy. And your vibration will be creating a different reality. Not only for yourself, you will be manifesting something that you wanted to, but also your vibration will expand, your consciousness will expand, and you will bring new experiences in your life. And so that is healing, healing for all. See? Because we are all co-creating with others. See how big it is that you take those steps? Okay, let's see what else. Your mission is to heal yourself. Because when you heal, we all heal. When you change, we all change. You can generate that change. So, what about that? How do you feel about this? Any comments? Any questions? For the ones that are joining us here on YouTube or on Facebook, because I'm on StreamYard, I want to welcome you to this book club of Alchemy for the Soul. We will be meeting here every Friday at 8 p.m. and we will be sharing the information from Alchemy for the Soul. So if you haven't purchased this book, you can find it in alchemyforthesoul.link, or also you can purchase it through Amazon. And so there are a list or a sort of exercises here that are going to help you transcend these memories that I was talking about. We all have things to resolve, issues to resolve, not only from our childhood. No, it goes beyond our childhood. If you get to experience painful stories, experiences in your life, during your childhood, it all happened because your parents couldn't somehow resolve the same issue. They took one step forward. They just couldn't get to resolve it because back then it was harder to create a change because even the same structure of the planet wasn't ready for that change. Hmm? Today, we are already living that experience of the change. So all the human must do is to work on recreating this old programming and to heal those memories, not only from your childhood, but also from your ancestors. There is so much pain held here. Ancestors, women ancestors that couldn't express, that had to stay quiet, that couldn't express anger or sadness or whatever. And so the way to express it was to maybe create a disease in the body. And the diseases are still being carried by the descendants today. So we must create order in our system in order for this to flow organically as it should have been, or as it was the original plan for the human. But of course, things happen, right? So, in that plan or in that journey where we got, lost or distracted because of the conflicts that happened back in the past, well, affected the whole system of life and all the systems, depending on the culture, depending on the society, on the beliefs of that place, they are still affecting you. We are so mixed now that I believe that we are all carrying all of them. So the more you can get to acknowledge and identify and heal and transcend and integrate and liberate and embrace and do all of these processes of the soul that are going to help you, then you will be able to help that journey to be, flowing again in the order it is supposed to be, or it was supposed to be from the beginning. So, any questions so far, Christina? Sarah, any questions? Thank you for being here. Dog, are you still there? I love it. I love you. Very nice. Well, if you don't have any questions, I'm going to give you some announcements then, or I'm going to give you some advertisement here. Let's say, um, I do, just in case you say, well, I don't want to share my story here because I feel uncomfortable, because it's so harsh, because it's so difficult, because I don't want anybody to know it, or whatever, then maybe you can take a one-on-one sessions. I do one-on-one sessions online through Zoom, or also on site if you are in the area of Orlando in Florida. I do one-on-one sessions, and we also do group sessions. And I will be doing group sessions at in Spirit Studio pretty soon. We are already organizing the dates. So if you live in the area of Orlando, I will be in Spirit Studio pretty soon. By March, we are planning on doing once a month group sessions of family constellations. Also, again, if you haven't purchased your book, Alchemy for the Soul, whoops, Alchemy for the Soul in Amazon or in Alchemy for the Soul, that link. Also, I want to invite you, if you are a healer, a therapist, a coach, and maybe, because that was my case, I'm going to tell you a little bit of that. I was working as a life coach, also as a healer. I was doing all sort of healing sessions on shamanic work and pranic healing, and I got certified in all sort of healing modalities, trying to also heal my own wounds, right, and my own suffering and pain and perspectives. And I thought that just by healing all of these, right, body, and keeping cultivating the body and the mind and the spirit and the energy will be enough. But I found out that the roots of that pain were really deep within my soul. And so when I found this tool of the family constellations, I finally got to start transcending a lot of my pain, my deep pain. And not only that, but those repetitive patterns that I was having of abandonment and betrayal in my life that were like so marked, it was like so there all the time, present in my life, not only with partners, but also, yes, at work and everywhere. So I finally got to understand the root of it, and it was very connected to my parents, of course, and then to my family system. So Christina says both grandparents never talked about their parents. Yes, there are a lot of secrets that are there, and we get to uncover, let's say, those secrets when we practice family constellations. In the family constellations practice, we enter this morphogenetic field that I was talking about at the beginning, and we get to stand, let's say, in front of the scene, in front of that scene of what happened in the past. We get to see what happened between great grandmother and great grandfather, let's say. And how do we do that? By feeling the emotional resonance of what happened between them, depending on what you bring, the topic that you bring to the constellation. And we will be able to maybe create a possible reconciliation in that field. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. But if you, as a descendant, have the awareness to see what happens with this comprehension and consciousness and acceptance, and you can integrate it and say, well, maybe you couldn't back then see each other, or you couldn't reconcile or resolve, but I see also your emotional gaps, grandma and grandpa, and I can do it differently today. I choose to integrate those memories because now I can see them. Remember that the truth will set you free. So now I get to integrate those memories, and I can then liberate them. And that's how it works in family constellations. All right. So thank you, Christine, for sharing. Yes, those um, secrets that weren't said, or whatever they couldn't communicate to each other, could be something that, you as a descendant somehow are, you might be carrying those memories, those emotions of sometimes anger, frustration, right? Um, Sadness, and whatever it was that they felt, that you sometimes might be feeling, and you don't understand, well, why am I feeling this? I don't have a reason to feel this way, right? So pretty much what we're doing in family constellations is healing those emotions of the past that our ancestors didn't get to heal because they didn't know how, because they didn't know how to communicate, because they couldn't express to each other, because of the circumstances, because of the structure of the moment, because the conditioning, because that's how it was. And we are here not to judge what happened in the past, but to have an observation so we can make it differently. And with our change, recreate the change of life. Hmm? All right, my dears. Thank you for being present tonight. It was a pleasure to be here with you. And I have so much gratitude for you to be listening to this. If you liked this video and you feel like it can serve someone else, because maybe this is an information that maybe not many know about it, and this is called the systemic vision, right? We will be seeing things from a different angle, let's say from a higher angle that is more neutral. And from that angle, we can recreate order. And from that order, we can recreate the system of life. So I will appreciate if you can share this with family or friends, and share this information so it can serve others. Again, I'll see you then next week. We will continue with the intro of the book so we can somehow be more open to receive new information on how to transcend my ancestors and my repetitive patterns and my emotional wounds and all of that. That will be our journey throughout this um, these steps that we will be taking every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, so I guess that's it for tonight. I'm sending you infinite blessings to all, and hugs and love and peace, because the world needs peace, and peace begins within. And as much as you help yourself, we all get there. Trust that we are all getting there. If you trust, it is. Okay, thank you for listening. And again, my number is my number. I'm sorry, I was gonna say in Spanish. My name is Maya Dari del Sol. And if you need to find me somewhere else, I am in Facebook as Maya Dari del Sol. We have a group page. It's called Transcend Your Ancestral Past with Family Constellations. If you wanna join us, welcome, because that will be a private group to share. And I also have other things. So if you go to mayadaridelsol.com, you can make an appointment if you feel ready to take one step forward on healing your ancestors. And I will be uploading more videos on what family constellations are, and the mother and the father. And we will be talking about all of that anyways, throughout this journey. So I'll see you next Friday, hopefully at 8. Mwah. Bye. Have a good afternoon. I mean, good evening. And and an amazing weekend. I'll see you next Friday. Bye.